She chose herself. Priyanka Chopra's bold message for every woman in a world that constantly tells women to please others, to fit in, to sacrifice their dreams, and to seek validation. Choosing yourself is the boldest revolution. Priyanka Chopra, a global icon, actress, producer, author, and humanitarian, did just that. She chose herself. She didn't wait for someone to save her. She became her own savior. Her story is a blueprint for every woman who's ever felt unheard, unseen, or underestimated. This essay dives into how choosing herself transformed Priyanka Chopra's life and how her message empowers women everywhere to do the same, to reclaim their voice, their power, and their worth. She wasn't born powerful. She became powerful. Priyanka Chopra didn't come from privilege. She came from a middle-class background, with no connections in Bollywood or Hollywood. Yet, she rose. Why? Because she believed in her own worth. She didn't wait for a man to tell her she was beautiful. She didn't wait for society to hand her opportunities. She carved her own path. Every rejection, every insult, every setback became fuel. She didn't run away from the hard moments. She walked through them with her head held high. This is the first lesson. No one is coming to rescue you. You must rescue yourself. Choosing herself meant saying no more often. Most women are trained to say yes, yes to things that drain them, yes to people who hurt them, and yes to roles that diminish them. But Priyanka chose the power of no. She said no to roles that reduced her to a pretty face. She said no to being typecast because of her skin or accent. She said no to playing small so others could feel comfortable. By saying no to what didn't serve her, she made space for what did. That's the power of self-respect. Saying no isn't rejection, it's redirection toward your worth. She reinvented herself again, and choosing yourself also means not being afraid to evolve. Priyanka could have stayed comfortable in Bollywood, where she was already a superstar, but she stepped into the unknown, into Hollywood, a space where people doubted her, mocked her accent, and questioned her presence. But she didn't shrink. She transformed. She took every challenge as an invitation to grow, and that's what makes her unstoppable. Your current version doesn't have to be your final form. You are allowed to change, to grow, to bloom, even if it scares people. Her message: you are enough. You deserve more. In interviews and speeches, Priyanka often reminds women that being ambitious is not a bad word. You don't have to apologize for wanting more. You don't have to shrink to make others feel secure. She said, "Why do we have to be stuck in a box? Why do we have to fit into expectations? Why can't we be everything and more?" This is the message every woman needs to hear. You don't have to settle. You don't have to wait. You don't have to fit in. From beauty queen to global icon, the inner shift. Many know Priyanka as Miss World 2000. But what transformed her wasn't a crown, it was the shift inside her. She stopped needing validation. She stopped living to impress. She started owning her truth. This inner shift is available to every woman, whether you're a student, a mother, an artist, or a leader. You become unstoppable when you stop asking for permission. Choose yourself, not because the world gave you a crown, but because you gave yourself the courage to rise. Standing alone isn't weak, it's empowering. Priyanka Chopra often found herself standing alone against the industry, against racism, against expectations. But standing alone never made her feel lonely. It made her powerful. When you choose yourself, some people will leave, some people won't understand you, but what you gain is far greater: authenticity, strength, and freedom. Don't fear being alone. Fear forgetting who you are just to belong. Self-worth over approval. One of Priyanka's boldest choices was to prioritize her self-worth over social approval. She didn't marry to complete herself, she was already complete. She didn't change her identity for anyone. She embraced her heritage, her flaws, her voice, and owned them all. This is what choosing yourself looks like: walking away from what doesn't value you, owning your truth without guilt, living your life for yourself, not for the applause from criticism to confidence. There was a time when Priyanka was told she wasn't fit for global screens. Her skin tone, her accent, her background were used against her. But she turned criticism into confidence. She didn't let rejection define her. She let it refine her. Her story teaches us this. Your uniqueness is your power. What they mock today, they will celebrate tomorrow. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Priyanka is not perfect. She's been misunderstood, criticized, and doubted. But she never claimed perfection. She claimed progress. She kept showing up. She kept learning. She kept rising. As a woman, the pressure to be perfect is suffocating. But remember, power doesn't come from perfection. It comes from perseverance. Her bold message to every woman: choose you. If Priyanka Chopra could stand in front of every woman watching this video, she would say, choose yourself even when they doubt you. Choose your dreams even when it scares you. Choose your peace over people pleasing. Choose your truth over fitting in, because when you choose yourself, the world has no choice but to notice your worth. Let her story be your mirror. Priyanka Chopra's journey isn't just inspirational, it's instructional. She didn't wait for a script that would empower her. She wrote her own. And now, it's your turn. Choose yourself, not just once, but every day. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're finally aware of your value. This isn't just a speech. This is a movement. So let Priyanka's voice echo in your heart. She chose herself, and now, so will you. The cost of choosing yourself and why it's worth it. Choosing yourself doesn't come without a cost. People will label you selfish. They'll question your decisions. They'll try to guilt you into returning to the version of you that made them comfortable. Priyanka faced the same. Her boldness wasn't always welcomed. Her choices were often misunderstood. But the price of staying small is far greater than the price of being misunderstood. When you choose yourself, you lose some people, but you find yourself, and that is the greatest reward of all. She didn't wait for a seat. She built her own table in industries dominated by men, gatekeeping, and rigid definitions of beauty. Priyanka didn't wait for acceptance. She built her own brand, created her own production company, and told the stories she believed in. She became a force behind the camera, not just in front of it. For women, this is a powerful reminder. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait to be chosen. Be so fierce that you choose yourself and create your own space where you belong. From victim to victor, she rewrote her narrative. Every woman is told at some point, you're too much, or you're not enough. Priyanka was told both, but instead of internalizing these messages, she flipped the script. She didn't let the world define her. She redefined herself. She refused to be a victim of other people's limitations. She became a victor of her own story, a woman who refused to be silenced, shamed, or sidelined. This shift is everything. You are not your wounds, you are what you choose to become after the pain. Loving herself loudly without apology. One of the most powerful things Priyanka did was love herself loudly, confidently, and unapologetically. In a world that tells women to be humble, quiet, and modest about their achievements, Priyanka owned hers. She celebrated her wins, her beauty, her mind, her journey. This is radical in a world that profits from women's insecurity. Her message is clear. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself. What's wrong is believing you're unworthy of love in the first place. She leads with grace but also with fear. Priyanka Chopra's grace is undeniable, but so is her fire. She speaks with elegance, but she also speaks with conviction. She's proof that women don't have to choose between softness and strength. You can be kind and firm. You can be graceful and powerful. You can be feminine and fierce. This duality is your superpower. You don't have to fit into one mold. You can shatter them all and rebuild them on your own terms. Her story is not just about fame, it's about freedom. Many people focus on Priyanka's fame, but the real story is deeper. It's about freedom. The freedom to say no. The freedom to walk away from what doesn't serve you. the freedom to define beauty, success, and happiness on your own terms. This is the freedom that comes when a woman chooses herself. She is no longer a prisoner to opinions, roles, or expectations. She becomes limitless. Choosing herself didn't make her arrogant, it made her alienated. There's a misconception that choosing yourself means becoming selfish or arrogant. That's false. Choosing yourself means becoming aligned with your values, your purpose, and your truth. Priyanka didn't step on others to rise. She just stopped stepping over herself to please everyone else. You don't have to become arrogant to rise. You just need to become unafraid of your own power. She turned her wounds into wisdom. Priyanka Chopra has faced loss, criticism, loneliness, and cultural bias, but instead of being broken, she became wiser. She didn't numb the pain. She didn't deny the pain. She transformed the pain into power. That's what strong women do. They don't deny their past, they build a future from it. They don't bury their scars, they wear them as armor. Your pain isn't a weakness. It's the fire that forges your strength.